Charis Morlaz was age 14 when just recently she walked into her mother's bedroom and killed herself. Why? Why did this young 14-year-old girl kill herself? Rape. In fact, the man, the teacher, 54-year-old Stacy, whatever the fuck his last name is, raped this young girl repeatedly. Welcome to America, where he only serves 30 days in jail. Yes. The Montana judge sentenced this rapist who confessed to raping this 14-year-old girl, who is now dead, 30 days. 30 days. Quite frankly, I believe that this man should be held responsible not only for the actions that he committed, but he should also be held responsible for the suicide of this girl. The suicide of this girl. If you've been a subscriber of mine for any amount of time, you would know that I've talked about sexual assault and rape many times before. And I cannot express to you and explain to you the amount of humiliation and how degraded you feel upon being raped or sexually assaulted by any means. It destroys your self-esteem. It cripples your sense of value and self-worth as a person. And it is one of the most traumatic experiences that someone can go through. Every person, when they deal with rape or sexual assault to whatever degree, copes and goes through it differently. Sadly, in this particular case, this young girl killed herself because of what her teacher did. And had continued to do with not just one student. And again, he's sentenced to 30 days in jail. Sickening, isn't it? Makes you want to clutch your fist in anger, and it makes me disgusted that someone like this can get away with this sort of behavior and actions towards someone who's innocent. The amount of guilt and shame one feels from having their innocence taken away is unexplainable. And I hope no one ever has to go through that feeling or has to go through what this girl did in taking her own life because of how traumatic and how it affected her so deeply that she decided to take her life. But I'm not done yet. It gets worse. So this rapist is sentenced for 30 days for raping this young girl and basically being responsible for her suicide. The parents opened up and communicated that the ongoing battle they had with their daughter and depression after the rape had occurred, and how it was a living hell trying to get her help because of what happened. Rape affects everybody differently. Everybody copes differently. But guess what? There are people defending this man, this rapist, this 54-year-old Stacy. In fact, I read this article. It's linked down below. You can read the full thing for yourself by the Washington Post. If by some chance I have someone from the Washington Post who's associated with them watching this video, you should feel fucking ashamed. And I say that because I cannot believe you allowed someone within journalism to post this particular article on your fucking goddamn website. This woman, Betsy Karzik, argues in her article that sex between teachers and adults, which in this case it's a minor, a 14-year-old girl, shouldn't be such a big deal. This is on the Washington Post. In fact, she seems to argue because when she was 14, she was sexually ready, sexually mature, or whatever. But you don't even seem to understand that every person, male and female, matures differently. Every person, whether that be sexually, mentally, in their brain. And not everyone at age 14 is ready to have sex with someone, much less know and understand the repercussions of having a sexual relations with someone. Most 14-year-old girls are not to the stage cognitively to understand what is happening to them, especially in regards to rape. Rapist Stacy believes that if he pressures a young girl into consensual sex, a minor, this 14-year-old girl, it is not rape. I disagree. Are you, Betsy, that ignorant to understand what usually goes through the rapist's mind? The act of rape is a signal of power and control, and even to an extent manipulation of children. Do you not understand that? Do you, Betsy, the person who posted this on the Washington Post, do you think it's acceptable for Catholic priests to rape children? I ask you that sincerely because based upon your article, it seems as if what happened to this girl isn't really a problem. The fact that you defend this 54-year-old man who raped repeatedly this young girl, who's now dead, by the way. I want to keep stressing the point she's dead now. She's dead. She killed herself. And yet you completely disregard that like it's absolutely nothing. Well, she was 14. She knew what was happening. No. Most people that age, male or female, don't know how to react or cope with the act of being raped or pressured into sex, especially when your teacher's 54 years old and knows how to manipulate and control, because that's what those types of people do. They're masters at doing that. They're masters at manipulating and getting a girl, or a guy for that matter, to do what they want because they're in a fucking position of power. A teacher is in a position of power. So my response to you, the Washington Post, shame on you for allowing this woman Betsy to defend this rapist's actions, and by dismissing the act of rape and the death of this poor young girl because you think that she was mature enough to understand what's happening. Scientifically speaking, most people will disagree with you. Because everybody matures, and everybody grows, their brains mature, women mature sexually at different rates and different ages. But to dismiss the death of this young girl because she knew what was happening? No. Rape is rape, and the people who harm and take someone's innocence away and puts them through the shame and humiliation of what they have to go through, and then when they finally open up about what they've been through and having been raped, they're shamed for it. And they're not taken seriously for it. Fuck the Washington Post, and fuck you, Betsy, and fuck you, the judge who sentenced a rapist for 30 days for taking the life of a young girl.